Love this problem, guys, because now we're in the world of parabolas. This is a function, g of x equals a x squared plus 24. Now, we are getting into the harder ones, but the math test is really a critical reading test, so if we just read it carefully, we can't go wrong. It says for the function g defined above, a is a constant, okay, a is a constant, and g of 4 is equal to 8. And then they're asking for what is g of negative 4. Now, let's take a look at what they've told us. Remember, guys, remember, if something is a function and it shows up here inside the parentheses, that is an x value, Whereas the entire function as a whole, that would be this, that acts as the y value, okay? That's the y value. This is their fancy way of saying when x is 4, y is 8. When x is 4, y is 8. In other words, 4, 8 is a point on this graph. Okay, that's a long-winded way of me saying, hey, take these values and plug them in, guys. There's your y, there's your x. So let's do it. I'm going to plug them into the original equation. Our 8 is y, so I'm going to say 8 equals, remember, g of x is just y, so that's 8, equals a, we don't know it, and I'm going to plug in my 4. Okay, all we have to do, guys, is simplify and solve. 4 squared is 16, so I'm going to say 16a plus 24. We want to subtract the 24 from both sides. That would be negative 16 equals 16a. And then it's just a matter of dividing out our 16, and we realize, hey, a is negative 1. Not the answer. They are not asking us to solve for a. They're asking for the value of y when x is negative 4. So at this point, we go, great. I've got a new x value, negative 4, and I finally know what a is. So I'm going to plug it back on into the original equation. G of x is equal to, now I know my a value, that's negative 1. We have a new x value that they are asking for, that is negative 4, squared plus 24. I'm going to do some solving here. Negative 4 squared is positive 16. Positive 16 times negative 1 is negative 16. And negative 16 plus 24 is positive 8, which is going to be our answer. So in that problem, we plugged in what we knew for x and y. We solved for a, the constant. We plugged in that constant, plugged in our new value for x, and then solved for y. Now, for those of you who are more visual, I would like to just point out something which is actually helpful for everyone listening to this, and that is to understand what parabolas look like on their graphs according to their equations. Remember this, guys. If you see x squared, you know it's a parabola, okay? We don't know if it opens up or down, but we do know it's a parabola. Now, parabolas have these fun little properties, whereas if something is inside parentheses, that signifies a left-right shift of the vertex. If something is outside parentheses, or there are no parentheses, that signifies an up-down shift. Now, if we look closely at this, we realize, hey, no parentheses at all. This means, what does this plus 24 do, guys? All it does is it moves the vertex up. So we can look at this and say, well, there's no left-right, it only goes up 24, and that's where the vertex of this parabola is going to be. Now remember what they said. They said that g of 4 was 8. That's another way of saying 4, 8 is a point on this parabola. That means going over 4 and up 8. And that's about here. I'm not getting all the way up to the 24. Now this tells us, guys, that this parabola is doing that. And because there's no left-right shift, we know that it's symmetrical on both sides of the y-axis. That stands to reason that if we're going over 4 and up 8, and then they're saying, hey, what's g of negative 4? Well, that just means when x is negative 4, what's y? So if we were to go back 4, we would still go up 8, positive 8, because there is no right-left shift. So if we can understand what a graph is doing based on its equation, it could be very, very helpful for those of you who are more visual.